Hello and welcome to this tutorial. Whether it's your first time using E2 or you just want to learn how to navigate more easily through E2 Business, this tutorial is for you. The objective of this video is to help you familiarize yourself with the main functionalities of E2 Business. The first step is to log in using the username and password that were given to you to access E2 Business. Once you're logged in, you can click on the three horizontal bar icon at the top left in order to view the menu and allowing you to navigate through the different functionalities of E2 Business. The four main functionalities are for Site Manager and Corporate Manager and allow you to create an assessment, view completed assessment, or visualize detailed report and summary report from previously assessed workstation. The two other functionalities are only for Corporate Manager and allow you to view and modify the account information of different users such as usernames and passwords, or change the structure of the project. For example, you can change the title of a workstation. If you're a site manager or a corporate manager, you have the option of changing the language and switch from English to French by clicking on the language button at the bottom of the menu. In this tutorial, and to facilitate the understanding of the navigation through E2, we will have a look at the first four functionalities. First off, when you click on Create an Assessment, you will be directed to the home page. This function allows you to create a new assessment, reassess a workstation, or view previous assessment. The first step here is to select the workstation information in the corresponding space on the left, such as the site. If you're a site manager, you have access to your own site. And if you're a corporate manager, you have access to all the sites in your business and you have to select the corresponding one. Then you have to select the department, in this case, shipping and receiving. Then the equipment, Dock 2, and the workstation, for example here, General Laborer. If this is your first assessment, note that no previous assessment will show at this point. You'll have the option of creating a new assessment by clicking on the green button on the right. Although if you choose a workstation that has already been assessed, you will be able to preview the previous assessment filtered by date from the most recent one at the top of the list to the oldest one at the bottom. You will notice that at the right of the date, you'll find the status of the assessment. It could either be in progress or completed. You will also see the name of the person who assessed the workstation and the task that was assessed. On the right side, you will see the global risk rating for this workstation. The color refers to the level of risk. Green is low risk, yellow is moderate risk, orange is high risk, and red is really high risk. At this point, if your assessment is in progress, you'll be able to continue the assessment. Otherwise, if your assessment is completed, you can reassess the workstation by changing any of the information on the left side. You'll also be able to access the action plan and view the completed assessment, which will lead you to the next page. To read the workstation assessment, you have to read the page from top to bottom. First, at the top, you will always see the site, the department, the equipment, and the workstation that is being assessed. On the right side, you can see the status of the assessment, in this case, completed. Next, E2 Business shows you 3 steps, starting with the risk analysis. The step you are in will be indicated in green. At every step, you will see that the E2 software allows you to go back to the previous step by clicking on the Return to Workstation selection button. By clicking on this option, you will be sent back to the home page, which will show you the information from the previous page you were on. In the risk analysis section, E2 Business will indicate on the left side column the task that is being evaluated, their risk rating, and the status of the assessment. The task you're currently viewing is represented in bold. You will also see at the top of the page the name of the task that is being assessed, the number of workers, and a picture of the workstation. On this page, you can see the risk factors that have been identified for the task. By clicking on the name of the risk factors, you will be able to see the modulators that you have selected, which allows you to establish the risk rating for each risk factor. You can navigate through them by clicking on the different tabs. Lower on the page, you will see a list of root causes and potential solution you have established for this task. At the end of the page, you can click on the button at the right to preview the information related to the second task for the workstation, or you can simply click on the task on the left side column. When viewing the information from the workstation analysis, you can skip to the summary by clicking on the center tab of the top of the page. As the name indicates, the summary allows you to view a global overview of the workstation assessment. On the left, you can see the global risk rating for the workstation with the legend. On the right, you will see the risk rating for each task you've assessed. By clicking on the name of the task, you'll be able to visualize the risk rating summary for each risk factors you've selected and assessed previously. Finally, you can view the action plan for the workstation by clicking on the tab on the top right. To summarize, the action plan allows you to keep track of the solution that you've been selected and follow up on their implementation by the person in charge. The functionalities specific to this page will be discussed in more detail in another tutorial. This function allows you to visualize the content of many assessments at once based on the information you want and obtain the data in an Excel file. It's simple. First of all, select at least one site. This option will already be predefined if you're a site manager, as it is here. Next, if you wish to specify your search, you can choose a department, an equipment, and a workstation. Let's say you want to find all assessments that have been made for the shipping and receiving department. Here, you wouldn't need to select an equipment or a workstation. Finally, you can check the filters you want to see. When you're done, you can click on Apply the filters. You can now view the data selected on the page, and you can export them in an Excel file by clicking on the green button at the top of the table. Back on the main menu, let's have a look at the last functionality, Summary Report. This functionality allows you to get a PDF report from an assessment you have completed. To do so, you have two options. Obtain a report from a specific date, for example, today, or obtain a report for a certain period of time, for example, between January 1st and today. Next, you have to choose one of the four options. The first two options are for all departments of the same site, whereas the two other options are for all assessment from one department only. To obtain a report from one of the last two options, you have to identify the department you're searching. Keep in mind that the report from the first and third option will show you the information by workstation, whereas the report from the second and fourth option will show you the information for all assessed tasks. If you wish for the risk factors, root causes, and solution to appear in the report, check the Include Detailed Result box. A new tab will open and the synthesis report will appear. It should contain a graph and table. We've now seen all the functionalities of E2 Business. You can now navigate more easily through various sections and use adequately those main functionalities. We hope you enjoy using E2.